The Mariners could be looking to our friends the Yankees trying to fill their second base hole. According to Joel Sherman of the New York Post, the Mariners have interest in Yankee second baseman Gleyber Torres. And I think this deal makes a lot of sense. And even in a video that's coming out sometime next week, I traded for Gleyber Torres in that deal. I think that Gleyber is probably my favorite second base candidate to trade for right now, other than, of course, Jazz Chisholm, but I don't think we're going to get Jazz.
You like jazz?
Gleyber Torres does a lot of things for the Seattle Mariners. He lets you keep JP Crawford at shortstop. He also can basically play every day. Unlike some of the other names we've talked about, kind of like Colton Wong, Gleyber Torres could play every day versus right and left-handed pitching. But what would it cost for the Mariners to acquire Gleyber Torres, and is it worth it in the end? Let's take a look. Torres will be turning 26 next month, so he's still relatively young, and the Mariners would definitely like to add a younger player. They also would have him for the next 2 seasons, as he's arbitration eligible in 2023 and 2024. Now, I believe the MLB Trade Rumors has his arbitration number somewhere around $10 million. So of course, he's going to come to you cheaper than somebody like Trey Turner, but probably a little bit more expensive than signing like Adam Frazier or something like that. In 2022 alone, he hit 24 home runs with 76 RBI. He hit 257, 310, 451 with an OPS plus of 114. 2021 was the only year that he's ever had an OPS plus below 100. Although this year he took a major dip in his on-base percentage, and I believe that has to go with his career low in walk percentage as well as his career high in strikeout percentage. Torres has always had a lot of power at second base. As you can see, his rookie year he hit 24 home runs and he finished 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting. And then in 2019, his age 22 season, his sophomore season, he hit 38 home runs with 90 RBI, a 278, 337, 535 slash with a 128 OPS plus. In my opinion, Gleyber Torres has to be one of the most interesting picks for the Seattle Mariners, because he's, again, just like Teoscar Hernandez, not somebody who really dominates the zone. Especially in 2022, he had his 2nd highest strikeout percentage ever in the league, and his absolute lowest walk percentage at 6.8%, all culminating to a 310 OBP, the lowest of his career. With that being said, however, there are some good peripheral numbers for Gleyber Torres. In 2022, his exit velocity was higher than it had ever been before at an average of 90.4 miles an hour. He also had a higher barrel percentage at 10.7% than he'd ever had before, and his hard hit percentage took a major jump up to nearly 45%, when earlier in his career it was only 38%. Torres also sprays the ball all over the field. As you can see, these are relatively similar numbers in terms of what field he hits it to percentage-wise. He pulls it 36% of the time, he hits it to center field about 34%, and he goes oppo about 29.5%. Looking at his Baseball Savant page is very, very interesting. You can see he's pretty high in his average exit velocity and his max exit velocity. His hard hit percentage is pretty high, and his barrel percentage is pretty high. This kind of signals what the Mariners have been doing with someone like Teoscar Hernandez, finding players that hit the ball and hit the ball hard. And also with Teoscar Hernandez, the Mariners saw a bit of a straying away from the dominate the zone mantra they've had for the past few years. And Gleyber Torres would again do that with a pretty low percentile in his K percentage, whiff percentage, and even his walk percentage is pretty low. So this is a very different move than what we've seen from Jerry and co. But I think it makes a lot of sense, especially when you have somebody like Teoscar Hernandez in your lineup now. You have a Eugenio Suarez. These guys swing and miss a lot, but they also hit the ball really, really hard. In the video we have coming out next week, I think I traded Jesse Winker for Gleyber Torres and some cash. But looking back at it, I don't necessarily know if that's what the Yankees would want and if that'd even be possible. So here is the new deal that I have made for Gleyber Torres. I still have Torres and cash coming over to the Mariners, but I'm trading the Yankees Diego Castillo, and he would really help out in their reliever role. And I think that Diego would be perfect for them because they would like to add some sort of relief pitching. In his article, Joel Sherman does note that the Yankees are looking for relievers, and I think Diego Castillo has kind of fallen out of favor, at least for Mariners fans, which is a shame because I do really like Diego Castillo, the big boss. But also, according to Joel Sherman, he said that the Yankees let executives know at the GM meetings that they're open for business with their middle infield. Now, this, of course, includes newly avoided arbitration, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, though I would much rather have somebody like Gleyber Torres. The Yankees have Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza, and Anthony Volpe waiting in the wings, and it would make a lot of sense for them to think, hey, maybe we should give a middle infielder. Now, Torres is not spectacular in the field. He could play shortstop for you, but you really don't want him to, and the Mariners apparently think that his bat could kind of make up for what he would lack in the field. And of course, you know, maybe working with somebody like Perry Hill, that could help him out a lot in the field as well, getting better at second base. Again, the Mariners would have Gleyber Torres for the next 2 seasons, and he would be a free agent at the beginning of 2025. This would be a cost-effective way for the Mariners to kind of shore up second base while not locking up a ton of money in somebody like Trey Turner or Xander Bogaerts. I still would rather they do that. However, this move does make sense. The Mariners do need to spend money though, and if they trade for somebody like Gleyber Torres, where are they going to spend this money? That is my biggest question. I really don't think they're going to go after Aaron Judge. I really don't. They could get Mitch Haniger back in the outfield, and then they would still have like $25 million to play with this year, and this is a team that should be going up in payroll, not kind of staying stagnant. So we'll see what happens with that. And Gleyber Torres has not been the only second baseman linked to the Mariners in the past few days. They also were linked to Colton Wong. Now I have a video on the screen right now explaining what Colton Wong could do for the Mariners. I appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.